Jambo, mimi naitwa Jeremy Damares and today I'm in Washington State and I always tell you guys, nikipatana na something that can inspire you, lazima niwaeleze. Whether you are in the United States, whether you are in Kenya, my friend, this is my business to inspire you. And today I met my good friend. The last time nilimpata hapa alikuwa under somebody. Now today she is a CEO. Ako na shule yake kubwa sana, one of the biggest school here in Washington State, and I will tell you what, she has been in America for only 4 years. Story ya Eva, from Kibera to CEO in America. I want you to stay there tuongee na naye di at least to inspire tuambie hii jani yake imekuwa namna gani. Well, don't touch that dial. Tukiongea na Eva, CEO wa Seattle Home Aid Trainers. Naitwa Jeremy Damares. Hi Eva.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Wow, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jeremy.
It has been a minute.
It has been a minute. Long time. We've been trying to meet and it's been so slippery, but now today is the day the Lord has made.
Amen. I know you are a busy woman and I'm very proud of you because I've seen what you're doing here.
But you're equally busy, Jeremy.
I thank God.
Yeah, we are so happy about what you do and we are very proud of you.
Amen.
You represent us, you represent our country and we feel good when we see one of us out there.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
Now, Eva, you know, let's start here. Eva, kwenu ni wapi, by the way?
Well, Eva. Eva, okay, let me introduce my names.
Right.
My name is Pauline Eva Akoth. Then there's Bowers.
Bowers.
At the end of that.
Right.
So there's Owor also, because Owor is my father. And I'm married to Bowers.
Right.
Harold Bowers. So, well, Eva was born in Nairobi. I am a Nairobi girl.
When you born city?
In as much as many people might, because I associate so much with where I come from, but I was born in Nairobi.
Right.
And like most of my friends we call each other Kibera girls, because we were born, bred, brought up in Kibera.
Wow.
Yeah. We lived, we've lived in different places in Kibera, and I know my Kibera friends, if they're watching this show today, I know they're gonna show up and say, "Hi Eva, we know you."
Yes.
We lived in Kibera. I went through school in Kibera and partly Muthaiga Primary School because my mom was a nurse, so when she was working in Mathare Mental Hospital, we went to Muthaiga Primary School. Then from Muthaiga, I went to boarding school. I went to Mukumu Girls Primary School. Then I went to Mumias Girls High School.
Wow.
And then I joined the University of East African Baraton. And then I didn't finish University of Eastern African Baraton. I moved to finish at the University of Nairobi. So that's my history. And by name, now people know where I come from. They say the name betrays.
You're right. So, munasalimia nanga nango?
Idinade. Yeah.
Awesome. Now.
Or there's Koro. The Koro is like the casual one.
Right.
Koro means like sasa ama niaje, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Koro. Na unajibu aje?
Bear.
Koro beo.
Yeah, or ongewach.
Ongewach.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
In Kikuyu you say dire, you know, like I don't have something to say. How do you say that?
In Kikuyu?
Yeah, in Kikuyu.
Do you know Akuga?
No, there's a one that I know. It may disappear.
I mean, now let's come back to this.
Yeah.
You said you were raised in Kibera and your mom was a nurse.
Yeah.
Unajua sisi wenye tumezaliwa pale Kiambu na huko Githongori, we always think that if somebody is from Kibera, either mzazi wake ni blacksmith ama wale wanapigaga kule Nairobi kutengeneza masanduku ya nini. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know.
Yani lazima huyo mtu wako Kibera ni mtu wa chini kabisa.
I know.
Kumbe ni madaktari.
Kibera is big. Kibera is big. We have Kibera Karanja Road. We have Kibera Olympic. We have Kibera Ayani. Then we also have like if you go up to Jamhuri, you know those areas. Long before all those areas were Kibera. Then we had Laini Saba. We had now the Kijiji now down Kianda.
Yes.
Those areas. All that area was Kibera.
So where ulikuwa area gani?
Okay, we started in Olympic. Makes me look down a little bit because that's not real Gator, yeah. But we started in Olympic and then we moved to Karanja Road.
Okay.
Yeah. So
uko ni kwa masonko kidogo.
Okay, ni kwa masonko kidogo, but we lived. Okay, there's that life that is there that you have to. That community was quite a real community, because I remember my Nubian brothers and friends. We just used to integrate, live together. When we are fasting, we fast together. Let me tell you the first skill I learned when I was in Kibera when I finished school.
Tell me.
I worked as a barber in a barber shop.
So you are a barber, kinyozi.
Mimi ukiniletea hapa na kunyoa visafi sana na kutengenezea cut.
Tukimaliza hapa tunafanya hivyo. I've seen a barber shop next to your business.
Actually, my Nubian friends, the boys, are the ones who taught me how to shave.
Wow.
So I used to hang out with some friends of mine, Kina Musa. We used to hang around, and they'd teach me how to shave, how to use and that's what I used to do. We'd chill out, we hang out in the barber shop, make some money, go back home in the evening. Then later on, now I'm going to give you my business story, where it has come from.
Yes.
Then later on, well, I stayed home for some time, and there was nothing for me to do. Oh, well, I know there was a time I had there was a time, I had a small job here and there, then worked in a supermarket, job ikaisha, then I'm just there chilling. And then I got like an idea. I was thinking, well, how about me starting a shop? So I met this guy, and he was like a Safaricom, then we used to use cards, scratch cards for the phone.
Yes.
So this guy used to buy scratch cards and distribute to people in the village, in the community.
Right.
So he had so many shops in Kibera where he was the super supplier, and then guys buy and then return, and we used to make like 7 bob for 500. If you sell a 500 bob scratch card, you make 7 shillings.
Oh.
If you sell 1,000, you make 14 bob. So that's where I started. I didn't know what to do. And that guy, maybe if he's watching today, Shadi, thank you very much, because you started my business journey.
Right.
I didn't have money, and you know what I thought? I said, I'll go and talk to Shadi and ask if he can help me. And she told me, well, I'll give you scratch cards worth 7,000.
Wow.
You go sell. When you make the money,
pay me.
I took the scratch cards, and then, interesting enough, there was a shop I used to see. Now Karanja Road, it's at the stage. All the makangas, all the kanges in use walikuwa wananijua poa sana. Yeah. So Karanja Road, Apo Karanja Road, Apo. Then I got a shop at the stage. I used to put milk, bread, and scratch cards. For milk and bread, I got the capital. My mom gave me another 7,000.
Wow.
So I had 14,000 to start my business. And that's where my business journey began.
So customer wako ni makanga hawa kwa area?
Makanga wenye wanakaa, mtu anashuka anataka kubai kiberiti, shop umempea kiberiti. Kidogo mwenye anataka sijui maziwa iko hapo, mwenye anataka soda, like that. That's how I started. Yeah?
Wow.
And I didn't know that one day I'll get back to business. Because at some point, well, I got married.
In Kenya?
In Kenya.
Right.
And when I got married, I now moved, and I was looking for employment. Then I got a job, my first job, and it was in Mombasa. And I was working for Henkel Chemicals as a salesperson.
Right.
And I did sales for Henkel Chemicals, I think, for about 4 years. And during that time, I managed to get a gig. I acted on NTV. There was a show on NTV. I acted, and people quite knew me at that time. People used to meet me on the streets and call me Stella. What was the name of the show? I can't even remember. Oh my God! But what was the name? Uhondo. Yeah. We were like the first people. There was Uhondo, and then the other one was I can't remember, but there was two. We were just 2 shows that had just started then.
It was Navuma.
Yeah. So then I acted Uhondo, and like at that time I had stopped my job in Mombasa, come back because we had just started a family, and my husband was like, it's either you're in Mombasa or you're in Nairobi, so choose where you're going to be. So I came back and I got a stint to do acting while I was waiting to like get another job. Luckily, the company I was working for called me and asked me, is there something you're doing? I'm like, no, there's nothing I'm doing. So they were like, okay, come in and we can get you. We will give you the same job in Nairobi.
Right.
Thanks to a lady called Devinda Ubi. So I came and got the job in Nairobi. Worked for Henkel Chemicals, worked for Tapo Industries, worked for KenyaWeb.com. So what is interesting, when I was working for KenyaWeb.com, everybody kept calling me CEO. CEO, because it was like, I just when I got in to do something, I used to just turn things around. So my people used to just make fun of me and call me CEO. And I told one of my friends, and I know she may be watching here. One day I told her, one day I will be a CEO.
Wow.
Yeah. I told her one day I will be a CEO. I didn't know how my journey was gonna be. So fast story moved forward. I came to America. Coming to America with all of the shock and everything. Yeah, of course, the first job, what do we do?
Well, goja kidogo, before now you moved to America, sasa ndio nataka kujua sasa resign hii kazi ukawini green card ukakuja ama ulifikaje hapa? Because now kama umejiwekeza kabisa kwa biashara, I don't think you can just stand and say it's time to go to America.
No. When I was coming to America, number one, I had a job and the job was not paying. We were working, but there was no salary. Yeah. And I had a B1, B2. So I was just here thinking, economy, haionekani poa.
Yes.
I'm looking at my future in the next 5 years. I'm not seeing what's gonna be of me. So I didn't even know anything. So I just came to America in 2019 with a church group, and we went back home. Yeah, I brought kids, a club called Pathfinder, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and we went back home.
Also, you came with your kids?
I came with my kids, and we just came to tour, and then we went back home.
Okay.
So when we went back home, we were just, like I wasn't even planning to come to America. I was just thinking I was just planning my things back home, and I'm looking at the way economy has become difficult.
Right.
You're not being paid salaries, 2 months, 3 months, things are tight. Then I said, let me go to America for a break. And my break involved so many things. I was also very emotionally low at that point.
Right.
There was so much stress going on in my life. And I told one of my friends, I've lost Eva. I want to go find Eva. So I'm thinking, because I have this B1, B2 visa, I will go to America. And there I will find Eva. When I was coming here, I didn't know what I was coming to do. I just came.
To find Eva? To
find Eva.
So now you decided to leave your kids behind?
The kids were back. I left my kids behind.
So were you married then?
Yes, I was married.
Bwana umwache?
Bwana nimemwacha.
Ukatafute Eva?
Niende nikatafute Eva. Because Eva was lost. Eva was completely lost. And I was like lost in church, hiding behind church. Because whatever I was going through emotionally, I was using church to cover whatever I was going through. Hiding behind a job that does not pay. And I'm, exerting all my energies. Yeah. Hiding behind my children. Because they are my success story. Yeah. They have 1, 2, 3 things they can say about me. Yeah. So I decided, you know what? I have to find myself. I'm going to lose it. And things that used to happen to me then, there's some that I would not be able to tell here, but there are things that used to scare me. Like sometimes I'd sit down and then I'd have a thought and then I'm like, was that me thinking like that? And then I'm like, no, something has got to be done. So I have to take action. And I decided to come back to America. Let me tell you, when I came back to America, I did not come that I was going to stay. I thought I was going to go back to Kenya. Then, COVID hit. I got to America. Right. In fact, let me tell you a story. When I got to America, do you know I slept 14 days straight? I was sleeping until my host asked me, Eva, are you okay? That one is not jet lag.
Something must be wrong.
Something must be wrong.
Right.
That's not jet lag. Jet lag, you know, after 1 or 2 days, 3 days, you're good. 4 days, 5 days. But this one, no, something is not right. I just told him, let's leave it to God, we will see. I didn't know the plan God had for me. So with my B1, B2 visa, Corona is here. What do we do?
Kwama. Hakuna kutembea.
Hakuna kutembea, hakuna kutoka. And lazima tutafute vile tutakula. So, I got into caregiving. And that's where I started. And you know, that time, I got into caregiving. I had to like extend my stay. Got into caregiving. I'm in a home where there's 6 clients and you cannot leave, because if you go out there, you'll get COVID, come and infect their clients. Their clients.
Right.
So I normally call that my Joseph moment, because you know I was hidden for 6 months.
So ni mnaitanga live-in?
Live-in. Hidden for 6 months.
Why?
So that's where you wake up in the morning and start writing your strategies now, and nothing is working. You're just there. You have kids in Kenya. You don't know where to begin.
So are you being paid, or you're just?
Yeah, I was being paid.
Okay.
Yeah, that one I can say the truth. I never failed to earn.
Okay.
Yeah, I was being paid. So at least I had a way of sending money back home and taking care of the kids.
Sasa hii unafanya hii level ya mnaitanga CNA ama HCA?
That time, okay, it's like, it's for back there, I think theirs is called HCA.
Okay.
But at that time I hadn't trained on anything. You see, in Texas there's no, I was in Texas actually.
Texas, right.
In Texas there's nothing like that. Yeah. And I'm really grateful to my host, because they held my hand and took me in there. Because if it weren't for them, I would not be where I am at right now. So I sat in that place, and I was drawing my strategies, just drawing and telling myself, now what is next? Then the call to come to Seattle came in. I didn't let my host know that I was coming to Seattle, because I didn't know what I was coming to.
Right.
I didn't let anybody know I was coming to Seattle. Let me tell you, when God wants you to get somewhere, He will make everything around you uncomfortable for you to get whatever you want to get.
You're right.
So there was that shaking, and I was like, nikipanda ndege sintapatikana, nifungwe, nibebe, nirudishe nyumbani. Another thing is telling me, you just go. If God has gone before you, see, He's gone before other people too. And if this is what He wants you to do, He's going to make you even better. Because I was thinking, I can't sit in a place, no training, nothing, and I'm still continuing to be here for more time because of COVID. I'd rather go somewhere where I have training, and even if I will go back home, I have something that has got training. And that's how I discovered Seattle existed.
Wow.
So I booked a plane and left the live-in, went to the airport.
Host hajui?
Host hajui. Landed in Seattle.
Sasa nani amekuita hapa? Ama ni marafiki tu?
Marafiki. In fact, I tell you a story at Seattle was very interesting. Because before I came to Seattle, there was somebody who had already told me how much you need, how much you'll need for training, how much you'll need for accommodation and all, and I had already put that aside.
Right.
But now happens that when I'm ready to come to Seattle, now that person is not
available.
It's not available. So I get in touch with somebody in Michigan who connects me again to somebody else in Seattle. Yeah? So this person in Michigan connects me to somebody in Seattle, and that person in Seattle tells me, fine, there's a job here. You come, we will train you. Training is what zeroed everything.
Wow.
When I had training, I was like,
So,
yeah.
yes.
Me, I'm not thinking twice, I'm going. And that's how I came. So I got here. When I went to work, it was in a place called Centralia.
Right.
I went to work in Centralia. Same job. For there we had 8 clients, and it was just 2 caregivers. 8 clients, 2 caregivers.
Why?
But now I worked for a week, and then the guy told me you have to go to Federal Way for training.
Utaangusha wagonjwa.
So I came to Federal Way for training. That's how I got to meet Dr. Njenga.
Oh, nice. Because the first time I met you,
I was here,
yes.
Yeah? I got to meet Dr. Njenga. And we just, like we met and we just exchanged the first line. And you know what he told me? You're destined for big places. You don't need to be in Centralia. Move to Federal Way.
Right.
I'm going to help you.
That's it.
That's it. And I moved.
Alafu?
And when I moved, that was the time, okay, Millie was transitioning. Yeah, Millie was also transitioning.
Yes.
And he told me, fine, come and be my assistant in the office. And that's how it started. I started learning the job. And I trained, went ahead, did my CNA, went ahead. Now I'm doing nursing,
Yes.
But I was actually mentored step by step by step by step.
Sasa ebu kwanza, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Kulingana na venye nimesikia kule nyumbani, kweli ulikuwa umesoma.
Yeah.
I mean, you had gone through all the challenges.
Yeah.
Now you are here in America. Umepata kazi.
Yeah.
Now, where you are starting, tunasema ni kama ile kazi ya chini sana.
Exactly.
That what people say, hii kazi ni ya kuosha wagonjwa. I mean, some people, hata wengi sana nimesikia wameingia ndege wamerudi wanasema mimi siwezi osha mgonjwa. Now here, the humility in you, na hiyo patience ya kugojea, I mean, ulikuwa unaitoa wapi? I mean, knowing that you have the degrees, you have whatever certificates you have, but you're still doing that low job.
Let me tell you, actually, there was a time when somebody called me and asked me, are you leaving an office job to go and do and clean poop? Every morning, Jeremy, I used to go and look at myself on the mirror. In fact, I even have some selfies I took while looking at myself on the mirror. And I used to ask myself, are you sure this is what you want to do? And I'd motivate myself and say, you know what?
Yes.
If people have made it in this business, I will also make it. And then another friend of mine, unfortunately, he's late right now. He used to laugh at me and say, "Now, Madam CEO, you've gone to be a CEO where you have old wazungus you're cleaning." I told him, the CEO will still remain a CEO. CEOs never die. Right. And then he used to laugh. So, at that point, there's that point where you now ask yourself, am I reducing myself to nothing?
Yes.
And then the stories that kept coming back to my mind, and that's why I told you, I used to call it my Joseph moment,
right.
was like, Joseph was hidden, yeah?
Yes.
And he was even sold. And during that time, even when he was in prison, yeah?
Yes.
Nobody knew he was going to become the ruler.
You're right.
If he did not humble himself and just go by the way things were going, his story would not have changed.
You're right.
And that's what I went back and thought, and I was like, if other people are doing it, I will do it. Yeah?
And now here you are.
And here I am.
The CEO.
The CEO.
We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, I want to now know your journey of becoming the CEO in this great nation of the United States of America. Because even right now, we are actually at your office, which is very beautiful. And number two, you're going to tell me, watoto uliwaacha Kenya ama walikuja hapa?
Oh, yeah. I jumped that step.
Tutarudi hapo. Naitwa Jeremy Damaris. Usitoke kwenye mtandao.
All right. right.
Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Martin Gethenji. I am the CEO designate at AMG Waters Limited, and thank you for choosing to invest with AMG for the last 11 years. Now I'm at Naivasha Special Economic Zone. This particular same spot is where the president was giving out 6 licenses just the other day to 6 companies who are investing directly, what we call foreign direct investments, a tune of 30 billion Kenya shillings to spur growth, development, of course, industrialization.
Vile niliwaahidi katika uchaguzi ya kwamba hii sehemu ndio itakuwa industrial city ya Kenya.
In this particular special economic zone, as you all remember, special economic zones are special areas gazetted by the government or geographically located in areas like Naivasha to spur growth and development. But why this particular location, Naivasha Special Economic Zone? There is a port behind or attached to the special economic zone, which means that the people who are doing industries and manufacturing are able to export or import goods and services that has a direct investment to you as an investor. Secondly, when the president was here, as we remember, he mentioned that the famous Japanese car auction will be happening right here where I'm at the special economic zone.
Auction ya magari watu wanaendea kule Japan. Sasa hakuna haja ya kwenda Japan. Sasa itakuwa inafanyika hapa Naivasha.
The government has already started doing the roads, as we can see. Electricity or provision of electricity is already happening. Do you know that power will be sold at only 5 bob per kilowatt per hour? And that means it's highly subsidized. At the same time, remember, water provision, boreholes are coming up here every single day, which means it is one of the lucrative locations for investment right now. The big question is, what does the SEZ has to do with AMG's investments in this location? We got investments or property right next to the special economic zone. We are the only company that is right next to the special economic zone. So what does that mean to you? You have a golden opportunity to set up your dream investment, whether it's a kayak, whether it's hotels, whether it's accommodation. Remember the 6 companies that were given out licenses to start industries here. They will need accommodation, they will need hotels, they will need banking services. That is the opportunity that you have here at the special economic zone. We got fantastic investments at only 1.2 million for a plot, that is cash payment, and 1.4 installment. So what do you need to do to become part of this special economic zone? By reaching out to us at AMG Waters, which is +254 716 490 653. Again, +254 716 490 653. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the special economic zone in Naivasha.
Welcome back. Karibu sana. Sasa tuanze hapo. Unataka kuanza na gani, kujibu gani kwanza?
Yeah. So now, si nimefika Seattle,
Right.
nikakuja training, and after training, Bishop told me, you are destined for big things.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't stay in Centralia. Come this way. And I came this way, and he gave me a job as his assistant. So I was learning through and also developing myself.
Right.
And he told me one thing: where are your kids? Because he noticed I used to be so stressed about my
kids.
Every day. That was everything I used to talk about. I told him, and he told me, don't worry, we will organize for them to come join you, and then we will go on with every other thing. And let me tell you, within 8 months, my kids joined me in America.
Awesome.
God, let me tell you, never joke with God. When you go on your knees and you tell God, God, this is what I would like you to do for me.
Right.
He may use even the least of the people you did not expect to do a great miracle for you. People were asking me, how did your kids come here? You know, I became like that blind man, or the Bartimaeus, you know? Me, all I know is I was once blind and now I
can
see.
Yes.
That's what I told them. All I know is I did not have my kids, but all of a sudden they have been able to come.
Wow.
And that is the miracle I keep saying.
That's a miracle.
Yeah.
I know people who struggle very much to bring their kids here, and I mean, na ninajua hata wataanza kukuambia, hey bwana tusaidie, tuambie watoto wako walikuja namna gani. But of course you have a very good answer that what you only know is that you are blind,
but now I see. And when I saw my kids at the airport in New York, I literally knelt down and started praising God and crying, because I did not believe I could see my kids within that time.
Baba, or that's a story of another day.
That's a story for another day. If I start talking about it now, we will go through so many pages. You will need to host me here for like 2 hours.
I mean, you know, even if tutafanya hivyo, siwezi jump tu nitoke hapo. I mean, because there's someone who is going through the same thing.
Their father is there.
Okay.
And one thing I can say, he's an amazing dad. He's an amazing parent. He loves his kids and he's a present. He's a present dad.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Haya basi at least sasa tu umejiokolea hapo, ningekuuliza kisusu, because now some people say now when especially women come over and they are successful, now they forget the men back home.
Me, I would not forget him, in as much as there was that part that made me step aside and find myself, because I could not find myself amidst the chaos that was going on within my marriage and everything.
Okay.
He's still present. He's a present dad. Awesome. I will never say anything negative about him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now the CEO.
Yes. So my CEO journey. Okay. So yeah, the kids came and we were continuing with the business here. I started training. I used to train, and once in a while, and I even hosted a show in 4YEARS digital media. Right. Yeah, a moment of praise every Friday. We used to play SDM music every Friday, share a word, and move on. Yeah, but the shaking, and I tell you, when good things are about to happen, there's always that shaking. Yes. Yeah. So we worked well with Dr. Jenga until it got to a point where now the shaking began again. The shaking began, and when the shaking began, I was deemed redundant. Yeah, I was deemed redundant, and because I was deemed redundant, the space was not big enough. Right. For me, I had to move on. When you build up a child and the child grows, you now tell them, hey, here is your whatever you need to go start on your own. Right, and go. And go. So I got to the point where now I had to move. And when I was moving, I didn't know where to start. I was a bit confused. I was like, now what do I do? I already have 2 children in America. We have bills. If I choose to get employed, I will be working hourly jobs. Right. Yeah. And these hourly jobs, I will not have enough time to spend with my children. And I had already started, you know, when my kids came in, they joined school and everything. So I had for 1 year, 2 years, I had already shown them that we spent time together. Right. So I'll take them to school in the morning, and when we're going to school, we discuss. We discuss everything. In the evening, when I pick them from school, we are talking about everything. A chance I never had in Kenya. Yeah, and I was enjoying that kind of parenting. Right. So I told myself, if I get into those hourly jobs, I will close that door of interacting with my children. So I said no. Then I called Dr. Njenga and told him, you know what? I want to learn CPR. I want to start doing CPR as a trainer. He told me, okay, you just go ahead. If you're able to do, I know you can do it. But I still had some self-doubt in me. So I went for the CPR training and I became a CPR instructor and I started offering CPR from the house. Yeah. And if I got, and because because of the way I train, there's people I trained while I was at Dr. Njenga's, and they would come to me and say, Eva, I have come with somebody I would like for you to train. And I tell them, you see, I can't be able to train you because I don't have. I can't give you certification.
Right.
I'm not yet certified to train. So sometimes I would even train, then bring them back, Dr. Njenga gives them certificates.
Yes.
Then I also met somebody called Pedro. He's a Peter, I don't know, I forgot his second name.
Yes, I know Pedro.
Yeah, you know Pedro.
Yes.
Pedro also helped me because it came to a point where now, because of family issues, Dr. Njenga could not support me.
Right.
Pedro allowed that I could train, get my students train, and he would help me give them certificates up to a point where I could get certificates. And that is how I managed to stand until the time the DSHS approved of my training. And then, you see, that's where now my Kenyan training came in. Because you see, I did sociology, and then I also did education, English and Kiswahili.
Right.
So when I gave my certifications to the state, it was approved.
Wow.
Yeah, it was approved, and it just happened like a miracle. Yeah, it was approved, and they asked me for a space. Jeremy, what you see here is big. This is huge.
I know.
I started from a corridor.
Oh, really?
Actually, Reverend Mariga, where, you know where Reverend Mariga's church used to be?
Yes.
There. He gave me a small room where I put, you see the bed you see at the labs? I put a bed there. I put a bed there, and my screen was in front, and then a table. If the students would come in person, then they would sit like 1, 2, 3 in one space.
Allah.
Yeah, that's where I started.
Now from there to this.
Do not despise humble beginnings.
Glory to God.
Yeah.
Now here we are.
Now here we are.
With a fully
registered training school, approved by the DSHS, and also a center where, you know, like normally our motto here is where quality care is our mission. We don't look at even training many people. I always look at empowering the next person. And that you have seen even with my assistants here. You notice there are people who have a different skill.
You're right.
Yeah?
Yes.
There are people I would love to grow so that they're able to build in what God gave them, their talent.
Yes.
Yeah? And that is what I even tell my students here. This is an empowerment center. This one is not a training school. You will come, I will hold your hand. And if I hold your hand, you will be able to hold the next person's hand. Because when I got here, somebody held my hand.
Awesome. I mean, that's good.
Yeah. If there was nobody to hold my hand, I wouldn't be the CEO I am here today.
Now, let's talk about this, because I know there are people who are watching us.
Yeah.
Mtu anataka kuja tu Seattle. Na hajui where to start.
Yeah.
As you have just said that you're gonna hold them hands.
Yeah.
Now, let us know. Unawanzia wapi?
So, well, at Seattle Homemade Trainers, what we do is this. We get connections even from people who are different places of Africa, back home in Kenya, different parts of the country. The people who are like me are in Texas and would like to get this training.
Right.
Yeah. We offer them training, and we offer accommodation for the first 2 weeks. We offer accommodation for the first 2 weeks, and then we give you HCA training, which is the initial 75 hours and NAR.
Right.
Then we help them get job placement. So within those 2 weeks, we make sure there's a job you are linked to. Once you get the job, now you move out, and then we help you get accommodation somewhere where now you will be able to, after you work, you now pay your rent.
Okay.
Yeah. And what my students know, they treat this place as home. So in as much as when they come in, we help them get IDs so that they're able to get IDs. We help them get driving licenses. We take them to driving schools, and you see that's why we have the link with the people owning driving schools, because that's, you see, for you to be able to survive, you first need to get an earning.
Right.
Once you get an earning, now you need to move to the next level. When you're moving to the next level, you need to have a car and you need to have a roof over your head.
Yes.
And those are the things we support them to be able to get. And when they're able to stand on their 2 feet, now we send them, now go, just come back and say,
thank you.
hello,
Or
not
say
thank
hello.
you.
Or
Just
come back and say
hi.
hello.
Yeah, and when they come back to say hello, we are happy. There are those who also need, like, sometimes they will need, like, some could be in immigration trouble or some stuff like that. That is not our core business.
Right.
But we are able to direct them to people who will be able to support them in their journey, and they are able to stand on their 2 feet.
Wow. That is great. So inamaanisha kama uko in another state, you are planning to move to Washington State, ama unataka kukuja hapa kuanza maisha, you have that visa in Kenya and you want to come over here, you don't know where to start, so just say that they offer accommodation, and of course is there a charge? Someone has to pay something?
Yeah. It's negligible.
Yeah.
It's very negligible. For 2 weeks,
Right.
we charge $200.
Oh.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, we accommodate them for $200. And the reason why we are doing this, we are not doing this because we have made it. We are still on the journey
Right.
to making it. But we are doing this because we have had people who have been stranded in the airport.
You're right.
Yeah. We've had people who have come to live with people they knew, and people give them the floor to sleep on.
You're right.
Yeah. We've had people who have walked with bags and they've never had anywhere to go.
You're right.
So we gave them a place where they can just stay there while they are trying to figure themselves out, while they're trying to understand the route of the area, and then they come in, and within 2 to 3 weeks, they are good to go, and we release them out.
I mean, that's a good thing. And of course, people from other countries like Mexico.
I've had students from Mexico. I've had students from Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa. I've had students even locally from here. Because one thing I've also learned about the education system in America, it's like if a child leaves high school and they're not sure what they're going to do,
Yes.
they get lost in between there. So up there somewhere, somebody is here, they have children, they don't know how to make money out here. So I've had students who just see my logo out there, they walk in. And when they walk in, they find a training school. We tell them, hey, we can train you. And what we train you in is called home care aid training. And once they receive this home care aid, so they say, you know, I can be a caregiver? I tell them, yes, you can be a caregiver. Oh my word, they cannot believe it.
Wow.
Yeah, and they become caregivers, and then we release them out in the market. And when they go out there, somebody comes back and tells you, you know what, I'm now a CNA. I now work for an assisted living facility. And you see, this was somebody who was living on welfare.
I see.
Yeah. So we are proud of the success stories, because sometimes we are scared of talking about them because you feel like I'm too humble. I don't have a story to tell out there. But when the success stories are out there, you just feel blessed. You just say, thank you, God, because I was able to turn one person's life around.
Now, I know someone is asking, when are we going to get these contacts? And let me know, actually before you give us their contacts, although they have been here on the screen, someone is asking, how much do I have to pay to get the training?
All right. So, to get your training, for you to begin, you need $866. And then, in addition, with accommodation, now you will need $200. So, with $1,066, you're good to go. But if you want us to also help you with the ID and stuff, because remember you need TB test, which is $70. You need to start off on your ID, which is $100. Put all this together. At least if you want to be safe and at least to have some pocket money and something for you to eat, if you have $1,500, you're good to go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, so what are you waiting for? My friend, you have been in North Carolina for the longest. no improvement, no money, no financial, inaitwa financial breakthrough, financial,
Breakthrough, yeah.
I mean freedom.
Freedom, yeah.
So I mean you need to move over here, and of course Eva, she's very much ready for you, and of course you don't even have to look for someone to host you.
And I'm a testimony, guys.
I know. Wamesikia his testimony.
I am a testimony.
You have come from zero to who you are.
I am who I am because of believing in what God can do.
Awesome.
And you can also be changed. Yeah, you cannot be in America for 15 years.
Right.
And say you're just here. Get to know people. Get to talk to people. Come to Seattle. We will show you what to do.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
So you have been in the US for how long now?
This is going to be my 4th year. I came in 2020.
4 years only.
Yeah.
And you are this big.
I have an adult family home too.
Wow.
It's in Seattle, in SeaTac.
Right.
Bowers Grace Adult Family Home. So yeah. And I'm looking at empowering guys. So like with my team, I have 3 trainers who have been approved by the DSHS to help me. So I know with time probably, if you come in, you may not find me, you will find my office assistants. They will be able to assist you. Training, you will find me training you, but know that we are here for greatness.
Awesome.
God sent you to this land and step on the land. Possess it.
Amen.
And you'll be great.
Glory to God. And before we sign out, of course, you know, nikitembea hapa nimeona pia wewe uko na wasanii ambao people who have been popular in Kenya.
Oh, great.
And of course they are also popular in the United States of America. Kama assistant wako umeniambia anaitwa namna gani?
My assistant is called, his official names, because you know we have official names that kuna majina ya usanii, yeah? My office assistant is called Byron Otieno, and Byron Otieno is better known as Owago Onyiro.
Owago Onyiro.
Yeah. He's a face that people have seen. He's a comedian. Very, very interactive with people. And actually when I was setting up this this outfit, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to pick people who are established. I'm going to look for people who also need mentorship. I've had boys that have mentored. There is one in Spokane. He calls me son, but he's Kikuyu. He calls me mom, Aunt Eva. And he came in, we've grown with him. Now he does his job well and he's able to take care of his family. Wow. Yeah. We have had Byron, he's growing, and I look at him, you guys, one day you're going to see this guy on places where you see big comedians in America.
You're right.
You'll see him in Hollywood, I tell you.
Yeah? He's doing a good job.
And then we have Sam. Sam is also my assistant.
Who nilimwona na president?
Yeah, he's danced with the president. Yeah, Sam is a dancer.
Yes.
Yeah. Sam is also really good. And when I look out there, you know, the girl child is empowered. The girl child will go do the CNA job, earn a living, and move on. What will our boys do?
Thank you very much.
They will hang out there. They will get into njohe, alcohol, and after a while, they are wasted.
You're right.
How many boys did we bury last year?
I know. I mean, thank you for supporting our men. I mean, this is good for you, and I pray that God will expand this business.
Amen.
Next time I'm coming, nataka saa tuende kwa, I mean,
it will be big.
I see. I can see.
It will be big.
Kama mimi
this is going to be a university.
Kama nilikuona first time ukiwa sasa wewe ukiwa chini ya mtu. Now today I'm in your office. I mean, you are going places.
And let me let them know. Once you get the HCA training, know that what we do first is 75 hours. The 75 hours has 9 certifications. We have 5 hours of orientation and safety, 8 hours of mental health specialty training, 8 hours of dementia specialty training, 54 hours of core basic training. This core basic training involves 16 hours of hands-on skills. So even if you get the training through Zoom, know that you must come in to do the hands-on skills. Then we have nurse delegation core, which is 9 hours. Nurse delegation focus on diabetes, which is 3 hours. And then we have CPR and first aid, of course, and the food workers card. And once you're done with this training, you will go out there and work. The state expects that within 200 days, you should have booked for your HCA state exam.
Okay.
Once you've booked for the HCA state exam, then now the state is able to recognize you as a home care aide. So don't come and think you're going to come 1 minute and you have the state.
It's a process.
It's a process.
But of course.
But it makes us successful. It has made us happy, and I wouldn't be with I wouldn't be with Jeremy here today if it weren't for this. Yeah.
Nashukuru sana and I wish you all the best. Nawel tupe namba yako.
Aya, nambari za simu. Kwa wale, the ones who are going to be calling us from out of America, the number is +1 469 288 5194. I repeat again, +1 469 288 5194. And you can even reach me on email if you can't reach me on the phone number. My email address is eakoque@gmail.com. You can also be able to reach us on our website, which is www.seattlehomemade.com. If you get into the website, you'll get the inquiry form. Make an inquiry, it will come into our email, we will get back to you. We are also very active on our social media pages. The Facebook page is seattlehomemade.com. The Instagram page is Seattle Homemade, and you can find me on my Facebook page. My name is Eva Nyaralandi on Facebook. When you get us there, we will be able to support you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hatuwezi ondoka kabla hujawaambia mpaka na lugha yako, uambie wakuje hapa.
Okay, I want to speak in different languages. Moriagado Agai, we welcome you to Seattle Homemade Trainers. How do you say we welcome you?
Tuamunyitogeni.
Tuamunyitogeni. We welcome you. Please come. Nagaya Moradime.
Amen.
Okay.
Aya.
Now, bienvenue for the guys who speak French.
Right.
Bienvenue. And we welcome you to Seattle Homemade Trainers. Wale wanaongea Kijaluo. An anyaru anyanya kachkadianga ta arwako u Seattle Homemade Trainers. Kae mwapuonjo ji kako unyalo chako dark America wakonyo u gikaka unyalo yudo teach gikaka unyalo yudo kaku konyru healthcare manolal namatin. So I have to use healthcare, but we help you build careers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nyasayo konyu and Rothobed Kodu.
Kabisa. Hiyo ni yenu nimeelewa vizuri, and of course my good friend, kuna women rep wa kule kwao nimeenda kumtembelea siku moja kule Kisumu. Anaitwa Bensuda.
Bensuda. Oh.
Bensuda najua utapata hii.
Yeah.
Thank you. One of viewers wanafanya kazi mzuri sana hapa. Thank you Eva.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Jeremy,
Nashukuru
thank
sana.
you for your time.
Thank you.
And karibu sana. Feel at home. Hapa ni nyumbani.
Naitwa Jeremy Damaris.